Good afternoon, students. Next topic, allotropic forms of sulfur. Allotropic forms of sulfur. In the same lesson, we learn allotropic forms of phosphorus. Now we are going to learn allotropic forms of sulfur. So already you know what is allotropes. Same chemical properties but different physical properties. Sulfur exists in crystalline as well as amorphous allotropic forms. Both crystalline and amorphous allotropic forms. The crystalline forms includes rhombic sulfur, that is alpha sulfur, rhombic monoclinic sulfur, another one, that is beta sulfur, and amorphous allotropic forms includes plastic sulfur, that is gamma sulfur, and Milkov sulfur and colloidal sulfur. So crystalline forms contains alpha sulfur and beta sulfur, that is rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur. Amorphous allotropic forms contains gamma sulfur, that is plastic sulfur, colloidal sulfur and Milkov sulfur. First we are going to learn rhombic sulfur. Rhombic sulfur, also known as alpha sulfur, already we know, is the only thermodynamically stable allotropic forms at ordinary temperature and pressure. This is the only stable allotropic form at ordinary temperature and pressure. The crystals have a characteristic yellow color and composed of S8 molecules. So alpha sulfur means, rhombic sulfur means S8 molecules. 8 atoms of sulfur combined together. When heated slowly above 96 degrees Celsius, it converts into monoclinic sulfur. So we can convert rhombic sulfur to monoclinic sulfur by heating 96 degrees Celsius. Upon cooling below 96 degrees Celsius, then beta form convert back to alpha form. That means again monoclinic sulfur is converted into rhombic sulfur. So we can convert rhombic sulfur to monoclinic by heating above 96 degrees Celsius. Again, if it is cooled below 96 degrees Celsius, means again monoclinic sulfur is returned back to the rhombic sulfur. Monoclinic sulfur also contains S8 molecules. In addition to that, small amount of S6 molecules also there. So here also S8 only present. Addition to that, S6 is also there. It exists as a long needle-like prism. The structure of this monoclinic sulfur is long needle prism. Long needle-like prism. It is also called prismatic sulfur. It is also called prismatic sulfur, and it is stable between 96 degrees Celsius to 119 degrees Celsius and slowly changes into rhombic sulfur. So at this temperature, at this range, slowly changes into rhombic sulfur. Write a note on monoclinic sulfur means you have to write from here to here. Or write a short note on rhombic sulfur means you have to write up to this. When molten sulfur is poured into cold water, a yellow rubbery ribbon of plastic sulfur is produced. Plastic sulfur is produced. Already you know, in amorphous allotropic forms includes plastic sulfur, that is gamma. Already we learned about alpha and beta, that is rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur. So in our previous paragraph we learned about crystalline allotropes forms of sulfur. Now we are going to learn amorphous allotropic forms of sulfur. In allotropic forms of sulfur, plastic sulfur, Milkov sulfur and colloidal sulfurs are there. So here we are going to learn about plastic sulfur. Molten sulfur is poured into cold water means plastic sulfur is produced. They are very soft and it can be stretched easily like rubber. On standing, it slowly becomes hard and changes to rhombic sulfur. So we can convert this plastic sulfur to rhombic sulfur. How? On standing, it slowly becomes hot and becomes converted into, it becomes rhombic sulfur. Sulfur also exists in liquid and gaseous state. At around 140 degrees Celsius, monoclinic sulfur melt to form mobile pale yellow liquid that is called as lambda sulfur. Already we know about alpha, beta sulfur, gamma sulfur. Now another new term that is called as lambda sulfur, that is sulfur also exists in liquid and gaseous state. At around 140 degrees Celsius, monoclinic sulfur melt to form a liquid, pale yellow liquid, that is called as, the state is called as, the liquid state is called as lambda sulfur. The vapor over the liquid sulfur, consists of 90% of S8, S7 and S6 and small amount of mixture of S2, S3, S4, S5 molecules. So the vapor over the liquid sulfur contains mixture of this sulfur, that is 90% of S8, S7, S6 and small amount of 2, 3, 4, 5, S2, S3, S4, S5 molecules. How will you convert rhombic to plastic sulfur means? We can write this paragraph. How do you convert rhombic sulfur to plastic monoclinic sulfur means you have to write this paragraph. Water lambda sulfur means you have to write these two lines. Next topic, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. First, preparation. Three methods are given. First one, from sulfur we can prepare sulfur dioxide. From sulfide we can prepare sulfur dioxide, and laboratory preparations also given. First one, we are going to prepare sulfur dioxide from sulfur. A large scale production of sulfur dioxide is done by burning sulfur. Burning means heating, heating means react with oxygen. At about 6 to 8% of sulfur is oxidized to sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide. So generally sulfur, burning sulfur in air produce sulfur dioxide. Next one, from sulfides. When sulfide ores such as galena, galena means PBS and zinc blende, that is called as ZnS, are roasted. Roasting means heating with excess of air. So that sulfide ore on heating means sulfur dioxide is liberated. See here, zinc sulfide is react with oxygen. It will convert it into zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide is obtained. Like that FeS2, that is reacted with oxygen on heating. It will also convert it to oxide only and also sulfur dioxide is obtained. When sulfide ore on roasting means sulfur dioxide is liberated. Large amount of sulfur dioxide required. Large amount of sulfur dioxide required in manufacturing of sulfuric acid. That is the main uses of sulfur dioxide. For preparing sulfuric acid, sulfur dioxide is mostly used. Other industrial purpose is prepared by this method. Third one, laboratory preparation. Sulfur dioxide is prepared in the laboratory treating a metal or metal sulfide, with a sulfuric acid. Metal is treating with sulfuric acid. In another reaction, sulfite is treating with sulfuric acid. So here copper takes this sulfate, means copper sulfate is obtained. The other molecules of sulfate converted into sulfur dioxide, remaining two water molecule is also obtained. Sulfide SO3 minus react with acid, sulfuric acid H plus. These two hydrogen takes one oxygen and removed as water molecule, remaining sulfur dioxide is obtained. This is the laboratory preparation. How will you prepare SO2? By laboratory method, means you have to write these two equations. Next one, properties of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide gas found in volcanic eruptions. A large amount of sulfur dioxide gas is released into atmosphere from power plant using coal, oil and copper melting plants. So large amount of sulfur dioxide gas is released from the factories, that is power plant using coal and oil and like Sterlite, already you know, copper plants. It is a colorless gas with a suffocating odor. Suffocating means what? We can't breathe easily. We can't take breathe easily. Moochu thinneral like that. It is a colorless gas with suffocating odor. So we cannot smell. We cannot take that gas. So it is highly soluble in water and it's 2.2 times heavier than air. So it will not go up easily because it is heavy than air. Sulfur dioxide can be liquefied, can be converted into liquid at 2.5 atmospheric pressure and 288 Kelvin. So at this temperature and pressure, we can convert this sulfur dioxide, can convert it into liquid. It is heavier than air, suffocating odor. It is released from plants, factories, power plants, copper melting plants like that, and it is found in volcanic eruptions also. Next one, chemical properties. Chemical properties. Sulfur dioxide is an acidic oxide because it dissolves in water to give acid. Why it is called as acidic oxide? Because with water it can produce acid, so only it is called as acidic oxide. So sulfur dioxide react with water, means sulfurous acid H2SO3 is formed. H2SO3 is formed. This H2SO3 is an acid because if it is dissociated, means it can produce H plus and SO3 2 minus. So it can produce H plus, so it becomes acid, so only it is acidic oxide. Reaction with sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate. Sulfur dioxide react with sodium hydroxide and sulfur dioxide react with sodium carbonate. This is first condition, this is second condition. Reaction with sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate. Sulfur dioxide react with sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate to form sodium bisulfate and sodium sulfate respectively. This is sodium bisulfate, this is sodium sulfate. So sulfur dioxide react with sodium hydroxide, it produce NaHSO3, that is sodium bisulfate. Sulfur dioxide react with second reaction. Sulfur dioxide react with sodium carbonate, means first it will convert it into sodium bisulfate. That sodium bisulfate is dissociate into sodium sulfate, water and sulfur dioxide. So two reactions are given. Sulfur dioxide, it can react sodium hydroxide and also sodium carbonate, that is both are bases only. With the sodium hydroxide, it gives directly sodium bisulfite. With the sodium carbonate, first it gives sodium bisulfite and then the sodium bisulfite converted into sodium sulfite.
Next one, oxidizing property. Oxidizing property. Sulfur dioxide oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. Hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. So in this hydrogen sulfide, sulfur having -2 charge, but here sulfur having 0 charge. So charge is increased, that means oxidation takes place because of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is oxidizing agent. Like that, here magnesium is oxidized into magnesium oxide. Magnesium is oxidized into magnesium oxide. Here also oxidation takes place because of sulfur dioxide only. So sulfur dioxide is an oxidizing agent. Reducing property. As it can readily be oxidized, it acts as a reducing agent. It reduces chlorine into hydrochloric acid. See here, chlorine, the charge of the chlorine here is 0. It is converted into hydrochloric acid. The charge of the chlorine in HCl is -1. Charge is decreased, that is reduction takes place because of sulfur dioxide. So it acts as a reducing agent. For that, one example is given. It also reduces potassium permanganate. It also reduces potassium permanganate and dichromate. This is potassium permanganate KMnO4 and this is potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7. So it reduces both potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. So here also sulfur dioxide is act as a reducing agent. So in this potassium permanganate, Mn having +7 oxidation state. In MnSO4, Mn having +2 oxidation state. Charge is reduced from +7 to +2. So reduction takes place because of sulfur dioxide. So only it acts as a reducing agent. Like that, in potassium dichromate, chromium having +6 oxidation state. In Cr2SO4 thrice, chromium having +3 oxidation state. Charge is reduced from +6 to +3. So reduction takes place because of this sulfur dioxide. So only this is the another evidence for the reducing behavior of sulfur dioxide. Next one, reaction with oxygen. Sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur trioxide. Very famous reaction named as the contact process. Contact process means manufacture of sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide is prepared from sulfur dioxide and oxygen. That is, sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur trioxide upon heating with oxygen at high temperature. The reaction is used for manufacture of sulfuric acid. So this contact process is used for manufacture of sulfuric acid. Next one, bleaching action of sulfur dioxide. In presence of water, sulfur dioxide bleaches colored wool, silk, sponge and straw into a colorless due to its reducing property. Example, SO2 react with water. SO2 react with water. For understanding, we can write like this: SO2 react with water, 2 molecules of water, H2O. This H2 is liberated as 2H. Remaining all are combined means H2. Yes, all the 4 oxygens are combined means you will get H2SO4. So sulfur dioxide produce hydrogen. That hydrogen react with colored compound X means it forms colorless compound XH2. So in presence of water, sulfur dioxide bleaches colored wool, straw, silk, sponge, like that. Why bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary? Means you have to write this paragraph fully. However, the bleached product is allowed to stand in air. It is reoxidized by atmospheric oxygen to its original color. So only bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary. The bleached product is allowed to stand in air means again it is reoxidized by atmosphere oxygen. We know already atmosphere contains air, that is also contains oxygen. By using that oxygen, again this product, colorless product, again oxidized means again it becomes color product. So the bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary. Based on that, they may ask question, why bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary? Means you have to write this paragraph fully. Uses: sulfur dioxide is used as a bleaching. Now only we learn bleaching hair, silk, wool, etc. So bleaching is the first keyword. Second one, it can be used for the disinfecting crops, plant in agriculture. So for disinfection also is used. Mention the uses of sulfur dioxide means you have to write these 2 points. Next one, structure of sulfur dioxide, SO2. The actual structure of sulfur dioxide is S plus, double bond O and single bond O minus. In sulfur dioxide, sulfur atoms undergo sp2 hybridization. A double bond arises between sulfur and oxygen is due to this double bond is arise due to the p pi d pi overlapping. See here, if one lone pair moves here means double bond is formed here. After forming the double bond, this bond moves here as a lone pair means again this oxygen get 3 lone pair. Like the same way, if this lone pair moves here means here double bond is formed. After forming this bond, this one of the bond moves outside means that is moved as a lone pair means again this oxygen having 3 lone pair. So only minus charge is formed. So with this topic, sulfur dioxide is over. Remaining we will continue in our next video. Thank you.